this is not one of the best news from Australia. Um, the attack, anti-Semitic or whatever they thought they were doing, is horrific. Nobody condemns what they've done. I've got some news for you so I can play if you guys. I've received a lot of messages asking what was going on, and you probably have reports from your own TV news around the world. It's heartbreaking. It's something that it hit everyone. It's so, in tears for everyone that has to see and experience a level of hate that shouldn't be tolerated. Doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter what beliefs they will celebrate in Hanukkah. I might not agree with certain governments or what they do, wars and this and that, but as citizens, I think we have to be better and be more understanding and more loving. So my heart goes to the Jewish community, because they have nothing to do with what governments decide to do. These are people that were celebrating with families, that were happy. My heart is broken, so it's not like that I can really talk much. So we're just gonna watch the news, and there's some, news that people that have experienced what happened. So
all right, so we're joined now by Bridget Sarks, who witnessed one of the gunmen actually get out of the car before the terror began. Can you imagine what that would be like when Bridget saw it all? Bridget, how are you doing?
Look, honestly, really rattled, just really scared, barely slept. It's just tragic.
Tell us what happened.
So my partner and I just live around the corner, and we were in my brother's house, who's about 1 kilometre away. And we usually just go straight up Ramsgate, but for some reason we decided to come this way because it's the traffic. And we would turn up this way, and the pedestrian crossing just behind us, people were walking, so we're about 3 cars back, and we're on the Vespa, and we pull up and we're standstill next to the perpetrator's car. And for some reason, my partner Tommy and I were looking at the perpetrator get out of the back left-hand side. And I, for a split second, felt sorry for him because I thought it was this man getting out of an Uber. And I thought he was tripping over and going to pick up crutches. And I just kind of thought, oh, poor guy. And then he just picks up just this huge gun and instantly just starts firing. Instantly just picks up first shot. And there's hundreds of people. That bus stop has hundreds of people there. There's kids, there's families, there's people everywhere. And just starts scrambling. And Tommy normally just drives really safe, and I was just going to drive. He has a gun. And he just swerves through the traffic. And they're gone. I've lost my voice from, normally we'd turn up here, but we've driven down the whole promenade. I'm just screaming, Ryan, he has a gun. Ryan, he has a gun, the whole way down. I was like, get away from the beach, he has 2 guns. I was just screaming at people. I felt like if people weren't believing me, I thought if I was wrong, I'd rather get in trouble for causing hysteria, but if I was right, I had to tell people to run. And just, people weren't, I was trying to make eye contact with people and just be like, just run, because people would have assumed it was firecrackers or something. If they did this at night, we would have just assumed fireworks. It would have been tenfold. There's fireworks here all the time. Like, just the whole way down the promenade screaming. We then went into the back streets to get off the promenade. But there's just people, I was screaming. I was like, get into the houses, get into houses. And there's just kids screaming, just people everywhere. It was really horrible, but Tommy and I were just right next to him. All I could think was, I was wearing a singlet, just driving around the corner. I thought I was going to get shot in the back. And we were just tensed up, just drive. And we assumed what was the first responder to the scene, just at the set of lights there was a paddy wagon cop car coming out, turning like left this way from the car park there. And they put their siren on. And that's all I assume would have been the first responder.
How close were you?
We were at the back. We were on the right-hand side of the car. He was on the left-hand side.
You were right there.
3 meters. He was just, in the white pants. I've never seen a gun like that in my life.
So we watched it on social media like the rest of the country and the world unfold.
Yeah.
You are right there. We can't believe what we're seeing on social media. It's like, this can't be Australia. This can't be happening. This is not real. You're right there.
I'm right, but I've thought the same thing. I thought, I'm still thinking in my head, it's not real, like thinking maybe it's firecrackers. When we got to my brother's house, which is only a kilometre away, I tried calling him on the way. When they answered, I'm just screaming at the phone because I'm still screaming at people on the street to get inside, so he had no idea what was going on. When we got to the house, I was just hysterical. I was just in tears, and we went inside, and nothing. I was googling Bondi, and nothing was on the news yet. So I was like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just a cap gun or firecracker. But I know, it was this huge, rifle. It's just something you see in video games. I just couldn't believe it. And then when it finally rolled on the news, I just felt sick. There was just people. It's just unbelievable, just horrible.
You know, it feels like a nightmare. And even in you retelling it, and I can hear almost the disbelief in your voice about what you saw, whether you believe what you saw, because you don't see this here. You don't see it in Australia, not at Bondi Beach, not in the middle of a celebration, not in the middle of a beautiful Sunday evening when so many people, as you said, hundreds of people were here.
We drove past the celebration and I didn't know it was Hanukkah. We just assumed, maybe it's Christmas markets or something. We should, because we were going to all come down to the beach for dinner. And we just go, we should bring them all here. And just, you don't want to think what could have happened, but if we didn't get on the Vespa, normally we walk, we would have popped in or, we would have walked that way just because it would just look so beautiful and just families, just people had spent the whole day at the beach. It was just a normal day at Bondi, just so horrific. The gun was just huge. It was just so bizarre. I just can't.
This is Australia. This is Bondi Beach. This is families. This is loved ones coming together for a celebration, living a normal day of life in this country, and then this happens. I mean, how is everyone reacting?
Just people. When I was looking at people, I was just screaming at the top of my lungs, just screaming. People were looking at me not laughing, but people were just kind of what are you on about? I'm screaming, run, he has a gun. And in my head, I'm like, I only saw one gunman and I didn't know there was more than one until the news. But I'm telling people to run that way, but I'm like, what if something else is that way? That's why I was I changed it to get away from the beach.
Confusion.
And that's the thing, isn't it? The chaos of it all. It turned out there were two gunmen. It turned out there was a car here that police believe was laden with explosives. I mean, this was a planned attack. This was something that these father and son had organised to do. Tara came to Bondi Beach yesterday. This is your neighbourhood.
Oh, look, pretty rattled. Our streets blocked off and we stayed at my brother's house for about 3-4 hours. Got back here at around 12 a.m. Probably slept 2-3 hours. We hopped on the Vespa this morning, just hopped to Rose Bay and back, and we went past some tradies and they made a bang putting something in a tip, and I just flinched. You just can't help it. Just any bangs.
You're gonna be okay.
How can you be? It's not even about me. I'm just the lucky one. Those poor families. And just this morning, there's a 12-year-old girl, a 12-year-old
10-year-old girl.
You just can't even imagine. And I heard from our neighbour that the Surf Lifesaving Club were pretty much the first responders, and they had a Christmas party, and they're all down there. It's just unfair and it's horrible. And we were down at the beach for hours. It's
the worst
meant to be a day to enjoy.
Bridget, you take care of you and your brother Tom.
Partner Tom.
Partner. Definitely not your brother. Look, go well. I think you took a lot of courage even to yell out, right?
Yeah.
So hold on to that. And, I know you'll be here to support everyone. So thanks for being with us.
All right, Carl. G'day, everyone. How you guys going? Hey, Gemma. Australian Mike, he said he needs to make immigration a lot harder for Muslims. I mean, they were Pakistanis. I suppose there are a lot of Muslims that are peaceful. There's a lot of different religions. It's just, That's right. And you know, Jim, I came from South America and I embraced the Australian culture and the beaches and everything. The mountains I've traveled and it's peaceful. And we want that Australia. You're always going to have extremists. Um, my hands are so cold and I was shaking. Um, you're in the UK. Thank you, sweetheart. And you know, like there's always 2 degrees of separation, half degree sometimes. Uh, my daughter and friends were at the pub last night, and someone got a notification that his mic got shot in the arm, and I don't think there's any place for hate in Australia. Um, yeah, Leanne, you know, as I'm getting better from my surgery, some days are a bit hard, you know, because I still can't walk without pain, which I had surgery in my femur. And you kind of recluse yourself a little bit, but I think the message has to be clear that Australia doesn't tolerate extremists of any kind. We recently had the white supremacist, actually Nazis. So the Nazi party they say they have enough members to make it a party. You know, you got extreme views. Everybody's entitled to their views. But one thing is having your views, and another thing is having all the Jewish people, whether you agree or not, in fear. No one should live in fear. Not in Australia, because they come here to work and have a better life. And so you've got this hate. And you know, it's gotta be a level of hate that to actually pick up a gun and go to, I mean, the beach where families gather. They had Hanukkah. They're allowed to celebrate. People celebrate Christmas. People celebrate all kinds of celebrations. I don't get out much in Melbourne lately, you know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Leanne. We need to unite. We need to stand up. Um, yeah, that's right. Like you said, you know, who can understand that someone can have so much hate? We're talking about children, victims as young as 10. I don't understand. Um, I mean, I might not agree, you know, what's going on in the Middle East, but that's been going on for 2,000 years, you know, and I'm sure leaders from all over the world are sending love to Australia at the moment. My views are that you can think whatever, you know, as long as you're not hurting anyone. And you not only hurt people with words, let alone these people. We all still grasping, okay, with what happened. Some people choose not to see it. Like Leanne, I know it's hard, you know. But if apparently they were known to police, and the guy, the 50-year-old father and son, apparently, sorry, the TV is just, I'm in darkness here. So what happened is he had a license to carry, you know. He had license to carry for 10 years and he had 6 guns in his possession. They took all of them. So they were living in Bonnie Rig, which is where my cousins used to live. And I've been to Sydney many times, and you see all nationalities. Um, but I don't know. There are all kinds of festivals, you know. Anyway, I play another girl that was there. Sorry, she witnessed it as well. This could be any of us, you know, going to the beach for a surf.
Actually here, Sunrise reporter, when it happened.
Yeah, no, it was just wild. Like 1 minute we're walking along the beach and just had an amazing surf in the afternoon, and then the next minute you just hear these like crackers, and I was like, wow, fireworks going off. And I was so thankful I had my friend Jay with me, because we realised no, and then it's just the screams and the faces of like pure terror, and trying to get up, like we were right there trying to get up and hearing people screaming, trying to get up the stairs, and I thought, it's going to stop soon, it's going to stop. So I'll just hide behind my surfboard behind a bush with tourists. You know, they had no idea. They're jumping everywhere. People are going berserk because they all are reacting differently, and people are trying to stay calm, and then the shots just kept firing, and I was like, oh my God, it's getting closer. I can't stay behind this bush because I don't have a way out. And so we then had to try and get upstairs. And it's just like, when you say it out loud, it's terrifying, because I couldn't get up the stairs. And the guy said, drop your board and run. And I was like, this is my shield. I have to get out of here. This is going to protect me. And then making it up the stairs was like a relief. But it went from you're helping people because they have kids and their kids are screaming for their mum and dad, and people are trying to stay calm but they're not, and then going, oh my God, there could be a shooter like right here next to me. And I just switched into like, I've got to get out of here. And I just stopped helping, and I just sprinted, and I just kept sprinting until I found Jay. And then she came across two Jewish teenagers who had nowhere to go, and they asked her if they could come up to her house, and we went up to her unit and stayed locked in there. But then when we got up the top, to still hear gunshots was just out of this world. Like, I have never experienced it. I don't know what a gunshot sounds like. I'm sure so many Aussies don't.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's so
Being here this morning,
Exactly. Like, why would you? You know, this guy was just a surf.
Paul's Plus Protein. High protein, great.
This guy, all the lifesavers were having a Christmas party. You know, and some people were surfing, and they were coming out of the surf not knowing what was going on, because it's just, you know, one of those. Ugh.
Was working on Bondi Beach as a volunteer lifeguard when the two gunmen opened fire. Trent, we know it's incredibly difficult to be back at the scene for you yesterday. We know how difficult it was for you to experience what you saw. It's hard to know where to begin. Tell us how you learned about this. How did it all unfold in your eyes?
So I was on break, and all the boys wanted to go for a surf quickly. We went out. At start, we thought it was fireworks. And then 10 seconds later, we hear people screaming, running. I look up, and the first thing I see is a little kid drop to the floor. It was the worst feeling I've ever seen. I saw multiple people drop into the floor. We were hiding under our boards. We didn't know what to do. And then we swam to shore, and everyone was panicking. Everyone started running. We started running also. People were hiding behind their cars. We were telling people, just hide, just hide, just hide. 20 minutes go by, and we went down, and we were still shooting, but we had to make sure everyone was all right. It's just me and my mates, just our instincts kicked in. And first thing we saw, blood everywhere. We went to the playground, near the playground area, and we see blood where the Jewish event was. And I had people that were there that I knew, family members, and I still can't get in contact with some of them, so I'm a bit nervous about what's going on. It's the worst feeling I've ever seen. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. Seeing all these bodies on the floor, blood everywhere. It was, especially for a young kid like me, it was the worst feeling ever. Like, I just can't describe the feeling.
Bloody, this is terribly difficult. And I appreciate you coming on and talk to us.
Yeah.
And some of this we didn't know, so apologies if we ask you things that.
Yeah, because sometimes, you know, welcome everyone. I just thought I know it's hard, but sometimes knowledge is power. And welcome everyone to R.I.P. Life Art is my beautiful Leanne, Little D. I love you guys. It's been a while since I did a live, and it's just sad that it has to be this, but I think it's important to pass on the message.
Terribly insensitive. Please just tell us, right?
Yeah.
So you would have seen in the immediate aftermath, and subsequent to that, you've got a family member missing. So in the aftermath, you saw police, you saw ambulance officers, you saw the community coming to help. Just describe that for us, what you saw.
I believe it's just who we are as a person. Whether you're a lifeguard or not, the community is so tied together that we would always put our lives in danger to help other people. It's just the people in Bondi, it's just how the community is. I believe that everyone that was there today, yesterday, showed courage, fearless, and we're all just trying to help each other out, which I really respected, which I assume.
The youngest victim is 10 years old. It's just too
from like the whole community is what we would do. Everyone was trying to help each other out, which was the main part, and I'm really proud of how everyone handled the situation, especially that Muslim guy that tackled down that gunman. Props to him. Like, without him, more lives would have been lost.
What a proper legend.
He is a proper legend, and he deserves as many beers as he can get.
And he's in hospital now, having been injured himself, recovering. I mean, he is the epitome of what the Australian spirit is, and the heroism to tackle down a gunman who was holding a gun. I mean, he undoubtedly, as you said, saved lives.
He's a hero. Without him, more lives would have been lost. And he deserves the utmost respect for what he has done.
You're dealing with a lot as a young man, right? I hope that you've got, the family's okay. What are they saying?
There's a lot of mixed emotions right now. Firstly, anger. Secondly, sadness. They're grieving right now with the whole situation that's going on. It's honestly terrible at this targeted attack, and
This is like, I mean, Sarah and I have been here. Like, this is Australia. This is Bondi. Two complete whack jobs over there with high-powered weapons. When you saw the social media, I mean, what?
I'm not really a politician type of guy, but I have one thing to say where, look, if you come into this country and you don't respect our values, you don't respect our culture, we're a multicultural country right now. If you don't respect one another, when you come into this country and you don't respect us, you have hate towards another person, another Australian, whatever their background there is, they shouldn't be allowed into this country. I believe if you do not like someone for who they are, what they are, and have a problem with it, and you go take it out by shooting them, it is the lowest thing you could do as a human. And honestly, if you have hatred towards any Australian, whether what their background is, it's honestly terrible.
We're talking about two people here who are pure evil. They're filled with hate. They're extremists. We're still learning more about them, but they were a father and son duo who perpetrated this attack, and in many ways that helps you get an understanding of how it was able to remain under the radar for so long from the police perspective. This is something that we don't have answers for right now, how this was able to be carried out. When you saw it unfold, when you saw those people taken down in that awful situation of seeing a child, for you, did it seem as though this was some chaotic? Was it sophisticated? What was it like to actually see this in real time in your life?
Well, firstly, props off to the police and medical team that responded straight away. Without them, a lot more lives would have been lost, and I think the police deserve a raise for what they've done and all the people around them. Secondly, with all this chaos unfolding, with this being targeted, all that, it's honestly gut-wrenching. But I think as a community, we won't retaliate with violence. I think the one thing we should do, we should hold each other by our shoulders, make sure everyone's okay. No protesting about it, none of that. We just have to lift our shoulders up, work together, and do the best we can to support each other in this hard time. And don't worry about what's going on later. We just have to worry about now and make sure everyone's okay. And we go from there. We've got to be mature about it.
Let me tell you, I don't think there'd be many people across Australia who'd be arguing with you right now. You've seen an awful lot, you've been through a lot, and you're never going to be able to erase that.
Yes.
So, mate, we wish you all the very best in navigating that. And all the best. Please give our love to your family.
Thank you.
With a missing loved one. That's horrendous. So our hearts ache for you, mate. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Trent. You take care.
There you have it. G'day, Jamaica Newfie. How you going? Yeah, well said, Gemma. I mean, if you go into a country, I came here in 1989, and yeah, I miss my own home in Uruguay. You got culture, but our culture is very similar to here. You got a barbecue on Sundays. You gather with mates and family. I embraced Australia. Just have a lot of mates that are Aussies, and travel all around and made friends, and we go to the beach. We all go together. Doesn't matter your backgrounds. I've got friends that are Muslim that are appalled at this. They're very beautiful families. When my children were young, they were always there for me. I even traveled to South America, and when I came back, I was pregnant with my third child. I was 8 months pregnant, and they had cleaned my whole house, steamed the carpets, bought little things for and they are Muslims from South Africa, and we're still friends after 30 years. We say g'day, and they give me a hug and how you going. It's always jokes and mucking around, and I also met Jewish people in marches for human rights, and I asked them, because I don't understand, because some people don't have the knowledge of other cultures. Profoundly, you think, okay, can you explain it to me? Be open to understand and to embrace, and not to have hate in your heart. I might disagree with governments, we all do, but the main thing that we all want is peace. Australia, you go to the beach. G'day, Journey, how you going? Australia now is entering summer, although we're freezing because we had a lot of rain and storms, and we go to the city and we go to the beaches, and I've taken my children to New Year celebrations in the city of Melbourne, and now I won't go. Down the road here in Melbourne, we have Jewish communities where they have the synagogue and they have schools and stuff, and Australia has mobilized a lot of police. All I can hear is sirens, helicopters this morning, because they're barricading. I know it's an isolated attack, but these people do something, and then some other clown jumps on the wagon. I can't understand. I gotta take some anti-inflammatories and painkillers, because I'm recovering from surgery still. I'm in a lot of pain, you guys. You haven't seen me much, and that's a little bit depressing, But this news, it gives you a headache. These are anti-inflammatories for my leg. I've got all the screws. There's screws in the plate that they put in. It's alright, but it still hurts when I walk. Yeah. I think that, and I was saying, you can have your views, political views, religious views. Doesn't mean you're just gonna go and attack. That shouldn't happen. And like you said, if you come to Australia, because there's a lot of conversations at the moment about immigration, and I think the problem is not immigration. The problem is that I think the police have a duty, if they know something, pick them up and isolate them and, question. And if you see that there's something that, they're dangerous, bloody send them back to their country. This is paracetamol, exactly. Like, they should be sent back. This guy had a license. I know, because I've applied to have a gun license just to shoot target because I love it. But then I thought, nah, I have kids in the house and you got to get a lock. Like, it's not that easy, to get your gun license. Like, I went to the police and they said, oh, well, to have a firearm, what for, farmers have it here, but it's very hard. And these people, he had 6. And, Australian gun laws are pretty strict. No one has gun. They had an amnesty where people gave all the, all the weapons back. I think what's really angering me, and probably the whole of Australia, is when they said, oh, they were known to police. What does that bloody mean? If they're known to police, I don't know, because they haven't said yet. They don't want to reveal a lot of information. I know they raided a house. I just feel sick. The whole of Australia is feeling sick. And tears come, tears go, and it's just, you go back to the same thought. People want to celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas or whatever it is, and they're sitting there with their families and the kids are playing. How on earth you think that you're going to have to be running for shelter? Anyway, that's my there's already a message up for review. I mean, people don't. Oh, okay, it's you, Gemma. Yeah, that's right. I don't know why YouTube didn't want to show your message, but I understand. There's not many people that can come into Australia illegally. First of all, we're an island, and very difficult. There's all kinds of visas here. People can come in and get a student visa or a working visa or partner visa, and there's subclasses of visas. Yeah, it's not very easy to come into Australia illegally, but that's right, Gemma. It's different here than will be in any other country. Like, we need to not unite the world, because say in Europe you just take a train and cross the border. In the US you got all of South America, and then it's individual turmoils in each country. So a place like Australia, which is isolated from the world, if they come in, because I can't say that I agree with a lot of stuff, because I live here too. I work and pay my taxes, and for many years I was a firefighter on the front line, and you see people lighting fires, and we're coming into summer where arsonists just decide to just light up, and we lost many lives and entire communities to fire. And this is different. On many levels is different, because the Jewish, whether you agree or like them or not, they have every right to celebrate their festivals. The guy said it really nicely. If you come into Australia, you can't think that you're going to pick up any kind of weapon and bring your hate from wherever the hell you came from and start wreaking havoc, because the beach was full of other people people were surfing. People, it's almost Christmas. People have end of year celebrations. Like, you can't go somewhere in Australia and say, I'm going to target this person, because there's all kinds of people there. It's an attack on humanity, on freedom. One is no longer. And this was father and son. So imagine. I mean, where's the mother in all this? Do they come here with the ideologies of, and and think that that is okay? It's not okay. Australia doesn't have the death penalty, but I tell you what, it's just shocking. It's just a player where they raided the home of well, they were having probably like rented an Airbnb,
Titanium non-stick pan.
Commercials, and they're not living far from where the Airbnb was.
On Sunday evening, run for their lives.
Also, the PM joins condemnation of the ambush on a Jewish festival.
An act of evil anti-Semitism, terrorism that has struck the heart of our nation.
The bloodshed sending shockwaves around the world.
The search for answers. Police raids in Western Sydney as authorities scramble to investigate the deadly plot.
A nation reels an attack on all Australians and our cherished...
Fast forward this, because
is in the nation's history. A Jewish celebration of Hanukkah at Bondi Beach turned to terror when gunmen opened fire.
We know 11 innocent lives have been lost. One gunman is dead. Nat is on the scene there in Bondi. Nat, a very eerie scene there behind you, a very different place last night where it was absolute chaos.
It was, and we're standing right near the bridge that we have all seen on our screens. This is where those gunmen opened fire. We've seen them with those semi-automatic weapons firing into a park where people were celebrating, lighting candles, singing and praying. It was a celebration. It was a beautiful night in Sydney. People were at the markets, people were walking the streets, and then horror unfolded. And now it is one of the worst massacres this country has ever seen.
Chaos rips through Australia's most famous beach. At Bondi, victims of a vile anti-Semitic attack cry out for their loved ones, many of them now dead.
There was about 30 to 40 shots heard within the 2 to 3 minutes that were running, and just sirens blaring. It sounded like a shootout.
Gunmen prowling, waging terror on innocent families, firing bullets into the escaping crowd.
I was lying on top of my son.
Your son?
My son, 8 years old son.
Two of my babies under me, and I look at that, and it's just rifle and a pistol, and just shoot.
As the gunfire roars, a hero emerges from behind. Ahmed El Ahmed rips the shotgun from an attacker. He was shot for his act of courage.
We hope he will be fine. He's a hero. 100% he's a hero.
Then officers swarm the attacker's bridge stronghold. Amongst bullet casings, they work on keeping one alive. Ambulance crews pick up dozens of wounded.
The ambulance tore down here. We parked under that bridge.
Under the bridge where the shooter was?
There was a kid under there, a little boy and his dad, and I got them into the car, and then I went in and I tried to help people, and it was carnage, Chris.
Overnight, heavily armed police shut down a street in Bonnyrigg, almost 50 kilometres west. Detectives trying to work out who else was behind this and why they did it.
This was a Jewish festival of celebration, the festival of light.
Bringing the light into darkness. What darkness came to us today.
So here's what we know so far this morning. 12 people have been killed, including one.
It's actually 16 people that have passed away now, so Hey, Leo, sweetheart. Yeah, it's horrible.
The shooters. It is Australia's second deadliest shooting after Port Arthur. 29 people have been injured. They've been taken to hospital. One of them, a child, taken to Sydney Children's Hospital. Police have located a vehicle on Campbell Parade that had several explosive devices in it. They have taken those away. Properties around Sydney have been raided in relation to the shooting, including a property at Bonnyrigg and now this morning, one at Campsie. We have special coverage with our team of reporters across the city and the world. Let's go first to David Boywood, who is in Bondi. This area is in lockdown at the moment, David.
Yeah, that's right, Nat. This exclusion zone, you can see it behind me here, it is absolutely massive right now. It stretches right down to the water, then it goes blocks into Bondi, and then it heads north right now. Of course, police are taking no chances with this investigation right now. We have seen those detectives today. They have been scouring this beachside crime scene for the past 16 or so hours now, and they have been collecting all of that evidence. Of course, this here was the scene of unimaginable carnage last night, and I just want to show you a couple of things right now. We've got these little...
How weird. Welcome, guys. It's, they were celebrated, whatever, they were gathering with their families, Janice, so everybody goes to the beach. Even some people don't like the beach, you know. But the weird is, for all of us, you know, if you have that idea that you don't like somebody, that's fine. You know, yeah, that's right. Janice, welcome, by the way. You know, people gather sometimes in a park. It was an isolated incident, Leo. It was father and son, and it's just, they were from Pakistan, and they were living not far from the area, and then they had an Airbnb where they just, I know that they took 3 people in relation to this, but you know, I don't spread hate. I think I just show you guys what the news are showing, or especially people that were there, you know, where they interview and they recount what they've been through, straight from the horse's mouth, nothing elaborated, you know, but they're not saying
artifacts of human life down here. We've got prams and pushers, we've got towels.
Sorry, Leo, it was, well, my guess, I mean, everybody knows, it was an attack on the Jewish community that was celebrating Hanukkah. And the people from Pakistan are, some of them, not all obviously, follow Islam, and there were understandings of, hey, Marcy chick, I haven't seen you in a while, sweetheart. How you been? So yeah, it's just extremists.
Bikes, and very clearly they were just dumped here and left.
They should be sent back to where they came from, you know. Oh, my Aussie chick, I'm still in pain, my sweet, but get
here in the chaos and the carnage of yesterday. We have now all seen those images of that chaos down here.
The media, they did raid a house.
In hospital in Sydney and get an update on the injured. Now, we're just waiting at the moment for an update on the many injured across Sydney who have taken to hospitals across Sydney. There were 29 people that were needing care, and obviously the sheer volume of the incident meant they were taken to many different hospitals across Sydney, including, we understand, a child taken to Westmead Hospital. There was also a police officer taken here, we understand was visited by the New South Wales Commissioner Mal Langdon. He is in a stable condition, as we have last heard, so we're waiting for an update on the rest of the patients. We actually spoke to a man coming out of Prince of Wales Hospital last night. For as many horrible stories as there are.
Yeah, no, it's shocking. This guy was, yeah, I got messages from everywhere. That's why I thought I'd go live, you know.
an incredible story of survival there. He's lucky to be alive, and obviously a very touching vision that you're seeing at the moment of this community was celebrating Hanukkah when that attack unfolded. Now, there is vision of him at home later after coming out of hospital, still celebrating that festival, which is, of course, all about hope. And there is plenty of hope here, but we are just waiting for an update on those patients on what has been such a terrible incident unfolding. Yeah, exactly. So many injured, 29. They had ammunition belts. They were reloading those semi-automatic rifles. We understand that's why there were so many injured. Let's go to Liam Tapper. A major police operation unfolding in Sydney.
Pulse Plus Pro.
Also, in Melbourne, because Melbourne is also you hear sirens going everywhere, you know, trying to. Oh, it's just shocking.
16 people dead after that shocking massacre. Nines. Amelia Ballinger was among those who was here at the scene in Bondi when it happened, and she joins us now. Meals, I mean, it's heartbreaking. It's still sinking in for so many. You were actually here. What happened?
Well, we were down here doing what most people who live in Bondi do on a sunny Sunday afternoon. We went to the beach. It was such a beautiful afternoon. I was with a friend. We had a swim and we were lying there.
Anyway, you see, I'll stop for a second. Where my YouTube is always about something silly, you know, and all my dances are like parodies of the real dance because I can't move. I've been a bit down in the dungeons, between four walls with the door shut. A lot, because the pain is just unbearable. And it's weird because I should be better, but I'm not. So I was trying on new dresses, and I thought, you put out a good message to the world, you know, something funny, something pretty. And people say, what the hell is that dance? I said, yeah, exactly. Coming from a dancer for many years, where I was doing cartwheels on the dance floor and the splits and going woohoo, woohoo, you know. Thank you, Gemma. It's just you know, trying to always keep it keep your heart coming back to when you were first born, without prejudice, without hate, and have love in your heart and tolerance. I'm lucky I took some. Thank you, sweetheart. I don't wish this on anyone, what I'm going through, and then you see something like this and all of a sudden your problems become minuscule, because I just want to know that the police and the government start understanding that the rest of us in Australia, we embrace the country. I go out to the shops and I say hello to everyone. I don't know what their beliefs are. You just say g'day, you know. And that's the Australian way. You say g'day and you help somebody that needs it. Not this. No. We should go back home to where the bloody help came from, you know.
You know, sort of soaking it all up, and actually looked around and I said to my friend, why would you want to live anywhere else? It was truly such a perfect afternoon. We walked back up this way. We walked past the festival. I didn't know at the time what it was, but we were talking about how joyous it was. There was music, people were dancing, there was a petting zoo, there were, you know, screens up, and everyone looked to be having a really nice time. And we commented on that. We walked up here, we sat down at a table just over there outside, and within 15 minutes the whole afternoon had shifted. Those first shots rang out, and I mean, it really just descended there into this
Did you
horrific
think
situation.
when you first hear shots, they can sound like, you know, a bunch of things, but when did you kind of realise that there was something far more sinister?
I think you know, for me, the second or the third shot. That first one was really loud. It was really clear. The sound of it really pierced through the air, but it could be anything. It could be a car backfiring. I think having covered awful events like this when I was living in Europe, it instills in you a weird instinctive sort of thing. And that second or third shot, I thought, something's not right. I mean, by the third shot, I was out of my chair. I said to the friend I was with, there's a gun, we have to run. As we were running very quickly, you know, a fourth shot, a fifth shot, they just kept coming. I mean, as we sprinted back to my house, which is not far from here, 25 shots had rung out in that time.
What was the scene like after that, once people had sort of, the penny had dropped that this wasn't a car backfiring, this wasn't fireworks, these were gunshots that were being fired? Was it just utter chaos?
It was chaos because it was a beautiful afternoon. People were down there, people were here, they were eating, they were drinking. I mean, you know, tables were being upended, glasses were shattering, people were screaming. There was real panic and real fear. People were very, very frightened, of course, and it was hard to know exactly what was unfolding. We did not know at that time what was going on, but it was very clear that something very wrong had happened. But I will say, even running, everyone was trying to help each other. Are you okay? Can I help you? People were moving very fast, but also really helping each other along the way. And say, we got back to my apartment, I didn't have any keys, I didn't have a phone, and we bunkered down with our neighbours, who I don't know very well.
I've been in all sorts of parts of the world with you, and with Brussels terror attack was the one that springs to mind, that in the aftermath felt a little bit like this, and that it's quiet, the police investigations are going on, and people are just trying to deal with it. The way this unfolded, right, in a so...
Right, Carl. I thought we'd play the police commissioner, and basically I knew we were going to get a commercial. It's 15 seconds. They're still trying to grasp with what's going on, so, you know. Oh, look, skating. I wanted to go skating, actually, but I need to be cleared.
Comments yesterday that were pretty inflammatory.
This is a moment for national unity. This is a moment for Australians to come together. That's precisely what we will be doing.
Is it a failure that these men weren't seriously on the radar of our authorities?
Look, our authorities do an extraordinary job. An extraordinary job. As Commissioner Lanyon has said, investigations have already made some progress. The fact that there were raids on the home in Bonnyrigg and at Campsie last night, we will continue to provide every resource possible to the AFP and as well to our intelligence and security agencies.
Police Commissioner, not looking for a third offender, that means not just no third shooter, but no other persons of interest or suspected accessories. How do you know that these two were acting alone?
What I'm saying is that we will conduct a thorough investigation. If there is any other person that is associated with the two offenders that we believe that was either involved or responsible for what took place, we will take appropriate action. What I'm saying very clearly is that there were two persons involved yesterday. There were two persons in this atrocity. We are not looking for a third person who was involved in yesterday's incident directly.
Commissioner, you must think this is a failure that this man was able to get a gun licence and that he...
I'm in Melbourne, Remy. I'm so sorry, sweetheart, where you guys are going up there. All the uncertainty. No, Australia is, you don't hear about this. It's just
not more on the radar of authorities.
I think there's actually legislation that governs how people have a firearms licence. So what I've said so far, and I'm not going to go further into it at this stage, there was very little knowledge of either of these men by the authorities. The person was determined to be entitled to have a firearms licence and had a firearms licence. The person had a firearms licence for a number of years, for which there were no incidents, and it was regulated.
Do you see that as a failure?
I think it's probably premature to be talking about this. When I'm speaking about an investigation, we want to get to the circumstances of everything that occurred yesterday and what led up to it. We are determined to make sure that investigation is thorough.
Why was there so little knowledge of these individuals, particularly the 24-year-old who you didn't know about? I mean, this was a planned attack. It doesn't appear to have been something that spontaneously happened.
I think that's really part of the investigation. We want to understand the motive behind these two people. There are many people in the community for which the police have very little knowledge about, and quite rightly so. We want to understand whether these people were further involved in any offences, but we have no history to say that's the case.
Are their families cooperating?
Sorry, can I just...
Are their families cooperating?
We will be speaking to the families. We have spoken to the families.
What was the purpose of the firearms licence?
Right. Why did it
Sorry, what was
the purpose of the firearms licence? What was his reason for having firearms?
I don't have that information this morning. What I've said is that he did hold a firearms licence and did have 6 registered firearms.
Premier, clearly it's early in the investigation.
You know, that's unheard of. I mean, I don't have one. Why would you want one? Unless you're shooting target. But 6?
But obviously a terrorist has been able to hold a firearms licence. If changes need to be made to our gun laws in New South Wales, will you make changes?
The short answer is yes. We're looking at that right now. Obviously, we're in the early stages of this investigation. New South Wales Police need to provide all the details of this inquiry to the government, but I made it clear last night that we will take every step we possibly can to keep our community safe, and we'll be looking at law reform along that route. And this is an intolerable situation. This is an attempt to break apart our social life, to divide Australian against Australian. There's a massive role for the government, New South Wales Police and regular citizens to play here to ensure that we keep our community safe, and I won't hesitate to move legislation if it's required.
How far they need to crack down on anti-Semitism? Premier, do you see this as a failure that this man and his son were not picked up by authorities and able to get a gun licence?
Look, I can't say at this point. I mean, I think it's important that we allow police to conduct their investigation. Of course, there will be a comprehensive inquiry. This is a massive terrorist event in Australia's largest city, targeted on Jewish Australians. We need to get to the bottom of exactly how this happened so that we can take steps to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Now, I think in these circumstances, it's important that no stone is left unturned, and New South Wales Police are given time to conduct that investigation, but we have to do everything we possibly can to ensure that this doesn't happen again. Part of that may be law reform, almost certainly it will be. Part of it will be a comprehensive police response, but it also goes down to the level of confronting racism and anti-Semitism in our community. We saw a shocking act of public violence yesterday afternoon, but we've seen time after time over the last 2 years in particular, but even before that, of public acts of anti-Semitism in our community. It lights a fire, it's toxic, it gets into the marrow of a community, and the only sensible, fair and just response is a community standing up as one and saying we will not tolerate racism, we will not tolerate anti-Semitism in New South Wales.
Eyewitness reports last night included that police, up to 4 police were standing around one of the active shooters, not giving fire back, just standing there. An eyewitness said that it was like they froze.
No, sorry, hang on a sec. I'm just going to stop you there. I'm not going to speculate on that right now. What I will say is that there are 2 New South Wales police officers in critical condition in New South Wales hospitals who stepped into the breach and could have lost their lives last night. I'm not going to go into the circumstances of police officers that returned fire, but I can tell you their bravery, their courage in these circumstances saved countless lives. And I would just urge everybody, don't jump to conclusions at this point. It's important that we have a full and comprehensive investigation, but certainly don't run down the police at this early hour.
Should there have been some more detail on what explosive devices were found at the scene and what had to be done to disarm them?
Yes, certainly. There were 2 improvised explosive devices found at the scene. They were taken by our rescue and bomb disposal unit. They were found to be active devices, so they were taken back and rendered safe by our police who do a professional job.
And does that mean they could have been triggered by phones, or can you tell us anything about how they would have been triggered?
I believe that they were more rudimentary in that. I think it would have been, there would have been a wick or something similar that would have been used to actually do that. I think they were fairly basic in terms of their construction.
Intelligence to suggest how they were going to be used?
No, I don't. Not at this stage. That's why we're investigating so thoroughly. We want to get to the bottom of this. I've made it really clear that we want to understand every circumstance. I am very glad that those devices were not activated, but really our thoughts and prayers at the moment are with everyone who has lost someone.
Prime Minister, Jewish Australians have been warning that something like this could have happened. They have been petrified for more than 12 months now. Has your government failed Jewish Australians when their worst nightmare was realised last night?
My government will continue to stand with Jewish Australians and continue to stand to stamp out anti-Semitism in all of its forms. We have taken strong action. We'll continue to work with the community. This morning I've already had a discussion with the anti-Semitism envoy, the first one ever appointed in Australia, Gillian Siegel. Last night I spoke with Peter Wertheim and other leaders of the Jewish community. We'll continue to work with them because this is a time where all Australians need to wrap our arms around Jewish Australians. So we stand with them. We stand against anti-Semitism. We will do whatever is necessary to stamp it out. Anti-Semitism is a scourge. It's been around for a long period of time. We need to do whatever we can to stamp it out.
Do we need a gun crackdown like John Howard carried out after Port Arthur? He took leadership on that, will you?
Well, we will look at whatever is necessary, whatever comes out of this investigation. If there is any action required in terms of legislative response, we will certainly have it. Thank you.
G'day, Janet. How you going, sweetheart? Yeah, it's shocking. Good to see you, my sweetheart. Just horrible news. It's like, almost like you go through waves of, you know, belief, disbelief, tears, anger. It's just shocking. Let's say more, Janet. No news. My leg's still not working. I mean, it works, but the pain is like unbearable at times. Most times in bed. Sometimes I do a little dance. I was trying new dresses because summer is coming, you know. And you try and feel a little bit better and positive. And then things that are happening sometimes can knock you a bit out, but I made a nice cuppa, you know, and look at me. It's shocking. I'll put something in a minute. It was an attack on Bondi Beach in Sydney, and 16 confirmed unalived, and about 40 something are still in hospital. Some just walked in, you know, not to put, you know, pressure on the services, ambulance and stuff. They just drove themselves to the hospital. So it's so horrific that the whole of Australia is waking up to trying to understand, you know, what happened, because we can't. We stand with New South Wales, and here in Melbourne is just police helicopters everywhere trying to protect Jewish buildings and schools, because they're not sure, you know, what else can unfold. But I reckon it was just, yeah.
Over here hugging each other. I mean, what else can you do?
Not a lot you can do right now. Right now, we've everyone's got to help, everyone's got to hug, everyone's got to embrace. This is it was a bloodbath. There was an absolute massacre.
Tell me what happened.
I was here with my family. It was a Hanukkah celebration. There were hundreds of people. There were children. There were elderly families enjoying themselves. Children, kids at a festival, playing, and then all of a sudden it's absolute chaos. There's guns, fire everywhere, people ducking. It was absolute chaos. We didn't know what was happening, where the gunfire was coming from. I saw blood gushing in front of me. I saw people hit, saw people fall to the ground. My only concern was, where are my kids? Where are my kids? Where's my wife? Where's my family? I survived October 7th. I lived in Israel the last 13 years. We came here only 2 weeks ago to work with the Jewish community, to fight anti-Semitism, to fight this bloodthirsty, ravaging hatred.
That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here. You know, we've lived through worse. We're going to get through this, and we're going to get the bastards that did this.
Tell me, did you see the gunman?
I did. I saw at least one gunman firing. Looked like a shotgun, firing randomly in all directions. I saw children falling to the floor. So elderly. I saw invalids. I saw people just. It was an absolute bloodbath. Blood gushing everywhere. October 7th. That's the last time I saw this. I never thought I would see this in Australia, not in my lifetime.
On Bondi Beach?
On Bondi Beach, of all places, this iconic place.
Your children, your wife?
My children, my wife is safe, thank God. They're okay. They managed to get away. But I didn't know. I didn't know where they were, and that's nothing. There's no greater fear, no greater horror not knowing where your family is. They're okay. They'll be okay.
You're a legend. Thank you. And you don't know how you got shot or hurt?
I know. I got hit in the head. I'm bleeding. You
lost a lot of blood.
I've lost blood. There are people around me that are far worse. I'll be okay. We'll be okay as a community, and we will defeat these ravages hatred.
How shocking is that? That's right. I did have it's just horrible. The live stream, the news conference. That's right, me neither, Janet. We can agree to disagree, on things, politics, religion, whatever, but that's another level. I never had that within me, the thing is that coming to Australia with that, leave it where you are. If you come in here, just enjoy life and respect the way of life here. People go to the beach, they gather with families, they go to the park. It's something that we all do. You celebrate a birthday, and instead of doing it at home, you think, I'm going to the park, we're going to have a barbecue, and then you're there, and some other groups might be next to you. Like, people were surfing at the beach, people were, just trying their best. Oh, if you missed the beginning, I'll play you this. Just brace yourself. It's not.
How do you stay cool in a rental if your landlord...
easy, to watch.
All right, so we're joined now by Bridget Sarks, who witnessed one of the gunmen actually get out of the car before the terror began. Can you imagine what that would be like? But Bridget saw it all. Bridget, how are you doing?
Look, honestly, really rattled, just really scared, barely slept. It's just tragic.
Tell us what happened.
So my partner and I just live around the corner, and we were in my brother's house, who's about 1 kilometre away. And we usually just go straight up Ramsgate, but for some reason we decided to come this way because it's the traffic. And we would turn up this way, and the pedestrian crossing just behind us, people were walking, so we're about 3 cars back, and we're on the Vespa, and we pull up and we're standstill next to the perpetrator's car. And for some reason, my partner Tommy and I were looking at the perpetrator get out of the back left-hand side, And I, for a split second, felt sorry for him because I thought it was this man getting out of an Uber, and I thought he was tripping over and going to pick up crutches. And I just kind of thought, oh, poor guy. And then he just picks up just this huge gun and instantly just starts firing. Instantly just picks up first shot, and he's just, there's hundreds of people. That bus stop has hundreds of people there.
Hey, tech tyranny. Yeah, I mean, it goes both ways, you know. You can have religion, doesn't mean it comes with all this that we saw today. A lot of people are peaceful, you know. You know, that's right, Gemma. It's just getting worse, but tech tyranny, understand what you're saying, but you can't do that. I mean, all religions have done in the past something. I mean, kingdoms, politics, invasions, tyrants, you've got dictators, you've got, you know, and we as citizens, I think we try to just keep on going and trying to be the best person that you can be. I teach my children tolerance. I might not be entirely agreeable to certain things, but especially wars, but you can't just go to a beach where people are sitting and just do this. It's just not in Australia. Go home and do it there. And if they had the balls, this too, if they actually had the balls, you know, I understand what you're saying. I mean, everybody's entitled to their views, but I'm thinking, and I'm going to show my face, if they had the balls, right, to do this, if you really don't like Jewish people, and they go to Israel, but no, they come to Australia to a beach where people are gathering, you know. I mean, I don't think they have the balls to walk in to the Israel country or whatever and walk in there and do this, because, you know, they come to where
There's kids, there's families, there's people everywhere, and just start scrambling. And Tommy normally just drives really safe, and they just go to drive. He has a gun. He just swerves through the traffic, and they're gone. I've lost my voice from, normally we'd turn up here, but we've driven down the whole promenade. I'm just screaming, Ryan, he has a gun. Ryan, he has a gun the whole way down. I was like, he get away from the beach, he has 2 guns. I was just screaming at people. I felt like if people weren't believing me, I thought if I was wrong, I'd rather get in trouble for causing hysteria, but if I was right, I had to tell people to run. And just, people weren't, I was trying to make eye contact with people and just be like, just run, because people just would have assumed it was firecrackers or something. If they did this at night, we would have just assumed fireworks. It would have been tenfold. There's fireworks here all the time. Like, just the whole way down the promenade screaming. We then went into the back streets to get off the promenade. But there's just people, I was screaming. I was like, get into the houses, get into houses. And there's just kids screaming, just people everywhere. It was really horrible. But Tommy and I were just right next to him. All I could think was, I was wearing a singlet, just driving around the corner. I thought I was going to get shot in the back. And we were just tensed up, just drive. And we assume what was the first responder to the scene, just with the set of lights there, was a paddy wagon cop car coming out, turning like left this way from the car park there, and they put their siren on. And that's all I assume is would have been the first responder.
How close were you? I mean,
we were at the back, we were on the right-hand side of the car. He was on the left-hand side.
You were right there.
3 meters. He was just, in the white pants. I've never seen a gun like that in my life.
so we watched it on social media like the rest of the country and the world unfold.
Yeah.
You are right there. We can't believe what we're seeing on social media. It's like, this can't be Australia. This can't be happening. This is not real. You're right there.
I'm right, but I thought the same thing. I thought, I'm still thinking in my head, it's not real, like thinking maybe it's firecrackers. When we got to my brother's house, which is only a kilometre away, I tried calling him on the way. When they answered, I'm just screaming at the phone because I'm still screaming at people on the street to get inside, so he had no idea what was going on. When we got to the house, I was just hysterical. I was just in tears, and we went inside and nothing. I was Googling Bondi and nothing was on the news yet. So I was like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just a cap gun or firecracker. But I know it was this huge rifle. It's just something you see in video games. I just couldn't believe it. And then when it finally rolled on the news, I just felt sick. There was just people. It's just unbelievable, just horrible.
You know, it feels like a nightmare. And even in you retelling it, and I can hear almost the disbelief in your voice about what you saw.
So there you have it, John. It is just crazy. But yeah, I haven't seen this one, so I'll watch it with you guys. It's unheard of. Yeah. I don't know where they came on, but I was yeah, there we go. I missed this. I'll watch it with you guys.
Appreciate everybody being here this morning. I'm joined with the Prime Minister, the Minister for Police, the Commissioner for New South Wales Ambulance, and of course Mal Lanyon, the New South Wales Police Commissioner.
7 a.m.
It's very sad duty this morning to report that 16 people have been confirmed as being killed, 15 innocent people and one perpetrator. There are 42 people in New South Wales hospitals overnight, and the victims' age ranges are from as young as 10 to 87. A devastating fact. New South Wales Police Commissioner Mal Lanyon will speak in a moment about Operation Shelter, the circumstances of this investigation, the counter-terrorism plan from New South Wales Police, and the latest in relation to community safety, as well as the New South Wales Government's and the New South Wales Police's inquiry into this devastating crime. Obviously, the Jewish community in New South Wales are absolutely devastated this morning, and it's our responsibility to wrap our arms around that wounded community and let them know that ordinary Australians, regular Australians, are in their corner and thinking of them this morning after this terrible, terrible targeted attack on what should have been a joyful event that they have every right to share with their community on Bondi Beach last night. We need to send a strong and clear repudiation of anti-Semitism in all of its forms. In all of its forms. There is no tolerance for racism or Jewish hatred in New South Wales or Australia, and we need to be clear and unambiguous that we will fight it everywhere we see it, whether it's destructive, horrible acts of violence or chants, mottos and internet posts on the internet. Wherever it is, we need to fight anti-Semitism. It is toxic, it is cancerous within a community, and as you can see from last night, it leads to devastating, devastating implications for the people of our country. There's been overwhelming public outrage and support from the people of New South Wales, and I think from the people of Australia. There needs to be a time for mourning. Right. We need to be in a position to bind up the wounds of the state's Jewish community, and many people are asking how they can help. The first thing, of course, is to listen to New South Wales Police and emergency services, but if you are looking for something practical to do, you could give blood. We saw extraordinary scenes from New South Wales public hospitals last night. Emergency departments, at the drop of a hat, were in the process of saving scores of lives. They did an incredible job, but they need your help. They need blood, and if you're thinking about doing an act of public service in the coming 24 hours, I'd urge you to contact the Red Cross and do that piece of public-mindedness, that piece of public-spiritedness. I want to say thank you to our amazing police force who acted bravely and diligently in incredibly difficult circumstances. Thank you to the paramedics who, in some cases under fire, transported the injured to New South Wales hospitals, to the doctors and nurses in our public hospitals, and lastly, thank you to innocent bystanders and civilians who stood up, risked their own lives to save other people's lives. This is a terrible, wanton act of destructive violence, but there are still amazing people that we have in Australia, and they showed their true colours last night. I'm going to pass over to the Prime Minister and then New South Wales Police Commissioner.
Well, thanks very much, Premier. What we saw yesterday was an act of pure evil, an act of anti-Semitism, an act of terrorism on our shores in an iconic Australian location, Bondi Beach, that is associated with joy, associated with families gathering, associated with celebrations, and it is forever tarnished by what has occurred last evening. This was an attack deliberately targeted at the Jewish community on the first day of Hanukkah, which of course should be a joyous celebration, and the Jewish community are hurting today. Today, all Australians wrap our arms around them and say, we stand with you. We will do whatever is necessary to stamp out anti-Semitism. It is a scourge and we will eradicate it together. The Australian Federal Police and ASIO are working closely with New South Wales authorities, and the briefing we've just had, we've had the AFP there, and the AFP Commissioner will return to Australia today. We will dedicate every single resource that is required in responding to this. To the brave responders, first responders, including ordinary citizens who acted yesterday, thank you for what you do. People rushing towards danger to show the best of the Australian character. That's who we are, people who stand up for our values. Flags will fly at half-mast across the country today as we pay our respects to all those lost and all those who have been injured. And we conclude by saying that yesterday was indeed a dark day in our nation's history, but we as a nation are stronger than the cowards who did this. I thank world leaders who have reached out, from President Trump, President Macron, Prime Minister Starmer, others right around the world have reached out to Australia at this time, and we thank you for your sympathy and your solidarity with our values. Australia will never submit to division, violence or hatred, and we will come through this together. We refuse to let them divide us as a nation. I'll hand to Commissioner Lanyon now.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Last night I announced that I had determined that it was a terrorist activity and made a declaration as such as 9:36 p.m. As a result of that declaration, we commenced Operation ARQUS, ARQUES, which is a joint counter-terrorism operation. That is New South Wales Police working very closely with our Commonwealth partners to ensure that we thoroughly investigate the circumstances of the incident yesterday. We have progressed at pace overnight with that investigation, and as a result of investigations undertaken, I can say that we are not looking for a further offender. We are satisfied that there were 2 offenders involved in yesterday's incident. One is deceased. The second is in critical but stable condition in hospital at the moment. The offenders are a 50-year-old and 24-year-old male who are father and son. The 50-year-old is deceased. The 24-year-old is currently in hospital at the moment. As part of the investigation, we conducted 2 search warrants last night, one at Bonnie Rig and a second at Campsie. The 50-year-old male is a licensed firearms holder. He has 6 firearms licensed to him. We are satisfied that we have 6 firearms from the scene yesterday, but also as a result of the search warrant at the Campsie address. Ballistics and forensic investigation will determine this morning that those 6 firearms are the 6 that were licensed to that man, but also that they were used in the offence yesterday at Bondi. We will continue to investigate this matter thoroughly. It's important for the community to have the reassurance that New South Wales Police, working with our Commonwealth partners, will not stop until we understand the reasons behind this senseless incident and take any available action that we need to do. We always work closely with our Commonwealth partners to make sure that we keep the community safe. This is a very difficult time for all law enforcement agencies, and I would really like to call out the work of New South Wales Ambulance last night, and we're joined by the Commissioner Morgan this morning. The ambulance officers were absolutely outstanding in their response. 16 deceased persons is obviously a great tragedy for this state. Our thoughts, prayers and love go out to all of the families of the deceased. We pray that those who are injured recover quickly. I have 2 police officers currently in hospital at the moment. Both are in critical but stable condition, And again, the thoughts of the New South Wales Police are very much with those officers and their families. This morning, we commenced Operation Shelter. It is an operation that we have previously run. We have escalated the number of police that are involved. Operation Shelter is designed to provide comfort to the Jewish community. We will make sure that we are highly visible at places of worship, places that are known to be frequented by the Jewish community, but very much in those suburbs where we know that we have a large Jewish population. I want to make it very clear that the New South Wales Police will not tolerate the types of violence or the types of anti-Semitic behaviour that we have seen. We will have 328 officers on the ground this morning as part of Operation Shelter. That operation will continue to work very closely with the Jewish community to make sure that we both prevent but also respond to anything that may happen. I was very clear last night to call for calm. This is not a time for anyone to be seeking retribution. This is a time for community to grieve and to heal. The New South Wales Police will do what it does best, and that is to prevent but investigate offences that happen. And we will be here to support the community. I might hand over to Commissioner Morgan, I think, if there's anything you'd like to say, sir.
Ambulance.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Could I just express my condolences to the victims, the families and friends, and certainly those that remain in hospital at this time. Our best wishes and prayers are going out to you. This was obviously a significant incident that has occurred at Bondi Beach last night. New South Wales Ambulance got its initial call via New South Wales Police at 18:43 last evening. Our first crews were on scene within less than 10 minutes. This took a response of more than 123 personnel from New South Wales Ambulance. Both New South Wales Police and New South Wales Ambulance worked seamlessly, I'm advised, through this entire incident in support of the community. I cannot convey how important that is. We are told stories of amazing heroism, of paramedics and police working seamlessly together with members of the community. Some of our paramedics are from the Jewish community and attended that scene and continued their duties diligently and professionally. Of that initial response, New South Wales Ambulance transported 24 patients, particularly in the first wave. There were attended 14 people who were deceased at the scene. Through the course of the evening, another 2 people succumbed to their conditions at New South Wales hospitals, and a total of 42 people attended New South Wales facilities. It is not uncommon in these major incidents for members of the community, sometimes often with very serious injuries, to make their own way to hospitals so that they are not burdening the resources of the services. This is what it means to be Australian. I do want to make the point that there is a significant amount of support available from the New South Wales health system. I could commend to the community that there are great resources available on the New South Wales Health website if you need mental health support, and some reference material if you also need that. Just in conclusion, I do want to make the point. There were some amazing lessons learned from the Bondi Westfield Shopping Centre. Last night, I am told, the command structures were seamless, the joint agency approach, the ability for paramedics with the support of police to work in these hot zones, I'm absolutely convinced contributed to the saving of lives that otherwise would have been lost. Finally, just one message for the first responders at these scenes. You are an inspiration to us all. The way you put yourself in harm's way, your courage and resilience, we all thank you. Thanks, all. We're all happy to take questions.
Commissioner Langan, can you elaborate? You said yesterday that one of the gunmen was known to police. Was that gunman known to police for extremist views, and were any terror symbols displayed at the attack yesterday?
I prefer not to comment at the moment. We're still very early in the investigation. We'll be happy to provide further information that it goes along. I want to give our investigators the opportunity to investigate thoroughly without speculation. We did hear last night a lot of information was coming forward. I want to make sure that it's accurate.
Commissioner, there are reports a black ISIS-style flag was draped over the gunman's car. Are police aware of this as a flag being recovered?
That's all part of the investigation. As I just said before, I'd rather not comment on that right at the moment. Obviously, we will look at the motives behind this attack, and I think that's really important as part of the investigation. Our investigation will be thorough, and we will be happy to provide further information.
Was there any watch list or intelligence agency?
Sorry, can I just have one? Sorry.
Was there any indication that these shooters were known to any service ahead of time?
There was no indication to indicate that either of the men involved in yesterday's attack was planning the attack that happened yesterday.
How was the father able to get a gun licence?
Did
Sorry?
they leave any manifesto or notes?
Again, that is part of the investigation. I don't want to go into that this morning. We've got investigators that have been working around the clock. I'm incredibly proud of the work that has been undertaken so far. We want to get to the bottom of this. We want to understand the motives behind it, and we certainly want to understand the actions that have happened. I cannot give a running commentary on the investigation. I want to give the investigators time to work through this properly.
Is there anything you can tell us about ideology?
At this stage, no, I won't comment on that. We'll continue to work through that. That is part of the investigation to understand the motives behind it.
For how long had the 50-year-old had a gun licence? And you said yesterday that the deceased was known to police here. Was the same individual the one that was known to ASIO? Do you understand anything about that?
I think last night, there was wide speculation that the younger of the two men had been deceased. That's not the case. The older man was deceased. I'm told that he's had a gun licence for approximately 10 years.
And the younger man, he was the one known to police and to ASIO. Do you have any more information on that?
No, I don't. And I think I said last night it was very limited knowledge.
Can you elaborate on why he was known to police?
No, I can't. Not this morning. That's all part of the investigation.
Can you confirm the identities of the gunmen and whether they were staying at an Airbnb in Campsie?
I can certainly indicate that they were staying at an address at Campsie. Their residential address is in Bonnyrigg. They were staying at an address in Campsie.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has laid some blame on your feet. What is your response to Netanyahu's comments yesterday that were pretty inflammatory?
This is a moment for national unity. This is a moment for Australians to come together. That's precisely what we will be doing.
Is it a failure that these men weren't seriously on the radar of our authorities?
Look, our authorities do an extraordinary job. As Commissioner Lanyon has said, investigations have already made some progress. The fact that there were raids on the home in Bonnyrigg.
Oh my God, I had enough of that. Far. 10 hours drive from Sydney. I've been there just because we were with my cousins and we went down to Bondi, but it's not a beach that I like. I like quiet, deserted beaches, all the states are on high alert because when one idiot goes down, the rest follows, so extreme. I like quiet places. That's why I normally go around Victoria, the country, and there's beaches where there's nobody there, or maybe two people, I like that. I've always been a bit of a loner, I suppose. And I like to swim in the ocean, so I don't pay much attention. I just go and swim for a few hours. Normally. It's just, the sad news coming out of Australia today, it's, I don't know whether, my views are like, if they were on the right, like, certain people shouldn't have license to carry. I don't think they should. But that's me. Australia's really tough on who has a license to carry. I can't believe he had 6. And there's always signs. That's why the Australian Federal Police are normally very good, cracking down cells and but I don't understand how they didn't pick it up. It's just very strange that they didn't have any clues. Shocking. Yeah. They had amnesties here that basically you can't have a gun, you know. You can't carry. I put this on because
Good morning. Welcome to a special edition of Sunrise, live from Bondi Beach.
Act of terror. Gunmen opened fire in a Bondi Beach massacre. Children among the victims.
A heroic act to save lives. A brave fruit shop owner wounded as he tackles an armed shooter.
Panic and fear, thousands enjoying the sunshine and sand on a warm Sunday evening run for their lives.
A peaceful celebration here at Australia's most famous beach plunged into chaos. Special coverage live.
Also, the Prime Minister joins condemnation of the ambush on a Jewish festival.
An act of evil anti-Semitism, terrorism that has struck the heart of our nation.
The bloodshed sending shockwaves around the world.
The search for answers underway. Police raids in Western Sydney as authorities investigate the deadly plot.
A nation reels an attack on all Australians and our cherished way of life. It's Monday, the 15th of December, 2025.
This is a special edition of Sunrise with Nat live at Bondi Beach and Mon and Chervo at Brecky Central.
Hello, Australia is right now grieving one of the darkest days in the nation's history. 12 people are right now dead after gunmen opened fire on a Jewish celebration of Hanukkah at Bondi Beach.
And this hour, we can name one of the victims. His name was Rabbi Eli Schlanger. He leaves behind a wife and young children. He has served his community in Bondi for the last 18 years. His first cousin announced his death online. The whole family absolutely devastated, and he has described the rabbi as a truly incredible guy. Nat, you're right there at the scene. This is just beyond a tragedy.
It is, and we are right here at the bridge, which we have seen on our screens. This is where the horror unfolded, where we saw those gunmen come to destroy lives. They came with semi-automatic weapons and they opened fire in the peace of a balmy night on Australia's most famous beach. They killed 12 people that were confirmed dead, as we know this morning, and at least 29 people are injured, one of them a child. It is Australia's second deadliest massacre.
There's a chopper, actually. There's footage from a chopper that this one. I mean, it's pretty loud.
McGrath smart locks.
Smart lock. That's what we all need. Now, I don't know. They just released the chopper going out over it. You know. I don't like the chopper noise. No. Turn it down. This is just. The aerial view from the beach and, you know, some shops, people walking around, going for a run. It's one of the most iconic beaches. It's horrific, actually, when you see the bikes falling, people running. I can understand someone's lying to do something. Thank you for tuning in, guys. It's just sometimes a lot easier to be all together, you know, through this. I certainly struggle to, we all do, you know, to watch things, and when you're together, you feel better. Gosh, I just had deja vu. Yeah, look at the water, so beautiful. Whoop. It's just nice, you know. Anyway, we wrap it up. Wrap it up, and I wish you all a good end of the year. Let's just pray for all the victims and all the communities that suffering, because they won't understand just yet what happened yesterday. It was pretty early this morning when I started seeing the first images coming out. Friends calling, and there's always someone that knows someone, you know. So the ones in hospital, we pray for their recovery, and let's just send a message of love and peace. I think we all do, you know, get that urge to, tears just come because you got, Jim, I wanted to add you as a moderator so you can be here with us. And also check each other's channels. Whenever there's devastation, an attack on freedom and humanity and peace, festivals of light and love, I want to say that if you need help, reach out. You know, there's agencies. Even if you think I'll be all right, just reach out. Call somebody, have a chat. Let your emotions be understood. And because you don't feel that you should be feeling bad because it didn't happen in your family, it happened in your community, it happened in a country. That's right. It happened in a suburb, in a community, or, you know, and you're affected. It's all right to be affected, because we all feel, we have brains and hearts, and we're all dealing with our own anxiety sometimes, or depression, and some people can't watch it, which is fair enough as well. I like to show what's going on. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not so funny, but I think it's important to unite and actually have, you know, thank you, Gemma and John Adam. I know that Life Artist sometimes is working, and everyone tuning in. Journey, I think it's late up there, and to make a new fee, and everyone, I know that my channel is a very small channel, but I love the fact that we all have and share so much humanity and tolerance and love for one another. And sometimes it's good, you know, that I can actually come up and say g'day in my personal life. We always wish, you know, to have good moments, good news, you know. Yeah, I'm freezing cold here. I can't imagine what you guys have, because the rest of the world is going into winter. And we have had a lot of cold here and a lot of rain. I'm going to open my window. Oh, we're hoping for sun. But yeah, I've been tired. And I've been a little bit down in the dungeons. Yeah, it's a big operation. The surgeon said I need time. I have to see my surgeon in about 6 months for another review. But I can't walk much. I thought I was fine one day, and I thought, oh yeah, I feel great. And then I had to spend a week recovering from that, feeling okay. But I appreciate the peace, you know. The opportunity to be home relaxing. But I look tired. You can see how tired I look. But I don't care about filters and all that crap. You know me. Sometimes I look fabulous and sometimes I don't. We all have that. So let's have a good night for the ones that go to bed. Hug your pillow. Think of happy thoughts. Maybe rain or a peaceful sunrise and sunsets. It's important. Hug your pets. And reach out if you need a hand, you know. All right, my sweets. I shall catch you soon. I love you all. I truly love you guys. Bye.